All right, so next up in this little mini home workout series, we have legs. So this is pretty uneventful workout. It's pretty simple, which is why I'm not doing any fancy edits or anything. Literally just a basic voiceover. So as you guys may or may not know, with my lower back situation, I can't really do squatting or deadlifting anymore, or at least for the time being. So the only real compound that I could do for my lower body right now is hip thrusts, which is actually it's a pretty potent exercise. Haven't really done it before I've gotten injured, but I kind of wish I have. Definitely really enjoyable to do. So just one thing I want to point out is you guys see right now I'm warming up with 135. I end up working up to 365, but as you'll notice, literally my setup and all my reps and everything, the whole technique, the whole flow is identical, whether it be 135 or my working sets. And this is a theme that runs across pretty much all my movements. I believe that every single rep of yours that you're doing should be identical. So, I slowly roll the bar into my waist. I'm very vigilant of where I place my feet, making sure that it's pretty much in the same location. And I get a big deep breath in. I tighten and brace my core as much as possible. Then I explode up. And then I hold it at the top for maybe 1 or 2 seconds, and then I release and I go again. And I've been really focusing on lower reps. Well, I'm doing sets of 6 here, which is, I guess, right at the brink of low reps. It was pretty debatable if it's low, mid, or high. But anyway, yeah, so this workout I do, I think, 5 sets of 6, I'd say. And another thing I'm doing, I don't know if you could tell, but the bench that I'm laying on, it caves down a little bit, right? Like the tip of the bench, it's not like parallel to the floor. So when I'm sitting down, it's not like my back is jammed against something 90 degrees. I have a nice little roll off to where I do the rep, because I need every ounce of luxury I can get due to my lower back situation. And here you have Jeff making me all nostalgic and sad and shit, doing the squats. There's a little 425, and then give him a little slap on the back. He attempts 455, which I think would have been a PR for him, but he unfortunately fails. So going back to me, this is my first working set with 365. And for those of you who don't know specifically what's going on with my lower back, basically I have a few bulging, leaking / inflamed discs, and because of that, my spine's more compressed, right? And there's these joints that run on each side of the spine. They're called facet joints. And because my spine's more compressed, a single pair of my facet joints, I believe, are jammed against each other. And because of that, they've become hypersensitive over time. So my facet joints, even now when they're getting a normal level of friction / contact with one another, the pain is just way more than it should be, just because they've been so used to being hit against each other so much, and they're hypersensitive. So I need to give them a break. I need to let them, stay away from each other long enough so they could desensitize back to normal levels. And for that, basically, I've just been very careful with all my movements, not really doing any squatting really, or particularly in deadlifts, and actually have this inversion table that I've been using quite a bit that I ordered from Amazon that I'll show you guys in one of my next videos. But it's definitely really been helping. And another benefit of this exercise to actually alleviate lower back pain for a lot of people is it's obviously a glute dominant exercise. It's like hip thrusts, and what that does is it really activates your glutes pretty much to the fullest, especially when you're progressing and going heavier on it. And what that does for a lot of people is a lot of people's, roughly speaking, lower back pain has to do with them not really having their glutes engaged properly, not just when they're exercising, but when they're just going about their day, when they're walking around. So for example, if they're just like sitting down a lot, they're not getting that much blood flow to their glutes, the activation really goes down. So having your glutes being, primarily fired, I guess is how you put it, much more often, can really help alleviate stress from your back. It'll just put it to the glutes where it should be. So it's getting dark out. I have to turn the lights, and then here's Anthony doing 275 for a few reps. Jeff's deadlifting a tad. God, those were fun times when I was able to squat and deadlift. But yeah, going back to my Instagram fit girl little booty workout, little hip thrust. Actually, I've seen girls push way more than 365. This is kind of sad. But yeah, I've been doing a basic linear progression on this exercise, kind of the same as I've been doing recently for back and chest. I'd say a month or so ago when I started doing this consistently at my house when this whole quarantine thing started. Started off with around 225, 245, and I've just been slowly working up 10 pounds every workout, even though I could have done a lot more and I could still do a lot more right now. I'm still disciplining myself to just work very, very slowly, not push it, because it's simply just not necessary at all. I might as well take my time. So here we are on one of my last sets. A few more little pointers is that I try to make it so when I'm at lockout, my shins are perpendicular to the floor. And I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but as you guys could see, the bench that I'm doing it on is tilted down a bit, where my back hits the bench. So I'm not just going straight into a jagged 90-degree edge. I have a nice little roll-off transition, makes it easier for me to go up. I don't really know if that's, good or bad. I haven't really seen anyone else do it, but I definitely find it's more comfortable for me to do. Here you have Anthony pushing around 315, and you guys will see me at the end of this video flirt with just a little bit of squats, and I've kind of started doing that recently. After my hip thrust, I'll very gently squat with a very, very light weight, and it's actually good for me because doing the hip thrust beforehand really helps activate my glutes, so I could do squats better with more glute activation engagement. And I worked up to 135 in the past few workouts, and then I pushed it up to 155 and actually started to notice that my back was getting just the smallest little hints of pain, and I just completely rolled it back to like 25 pounds the next few workouts and slowly worked back up. And as you guys will see here in a little bit, I'm going to be doing 135. I just showed 2 sets in this video. I did like 3 or 4 sets, not filmed, but yeah, I've just been super, super careful doing it. Literally, my squat rep, I treat every single rep like a legitimate 1 rep max, an insane amount of just intra-abdominal pressure, keeping my back rock solid stiff on the way down and on the way up, and just pretty much hoping for the best. So pretty sure this is my last set, 365. You guys can see here how that bench that I'm laying against has a slight little roll off, making it more convenient. And yeah, I mean, this has pretty much been my leg workouts for quarantine. Kind of miss having bigger legs. I remember when I was in my teens, when I was like squatting insanely, I had some pretty monstrous quads. Now they're just little, just like toothpick sticks, which is pretty embarrassing. I don't like having small legs. It just definitely doesn't feel right. I feel like the most important body groups on a male's physique to be developed would literally be their legs and their upper back. I feel like there's nothing less appealing than just having just a jacked up upper body and just pencil legs. Like, you might as well just be a stick all around. And there's definitely been times when I haven't been doing any legs at all due to lower back pain, where I've kind of had that situation, because with my legs, they can grow the fastest and the easiest when trained correctly, but when not, they could just shrivel so fast it's almost like miraculous. So to my squat shoes, I kind of do the hip thrust with wrestling shoes, and then go to squat shoes for my squats. So here I am trying to keep my spine just as stiff, rock solid, neutral as possible, and yeah, just doing these squats. I could do like some Bulgarian split squats and also have like a really bootleg Amazon hamstring curl quad extension, but I literally just don't like doing them. When it comes to legs, I like doing just powerful, explosive movements. I just hate just the galactic acid buildup and just the burning sensation of just isolating my legs. And also, I feel like it doesn't really give me like any growth at all. It's funny because before I started gently introducing squats to the end of my leg workouts recently, before that I mean within this month or two, I'm doing Bulgarian split squats, quad extensions, and hamstring curls, and going pretty intense at them. And I literally feel like I just haven't gotten any growth of them at all. And the one workout where I introduced just the lightest squatting at the end, maybe like 4 sets with 135 of 10, just the next day my legs were just substantially bigger than doing all those like low res little isolatory, if that's even a word, leg movements. So yeah, that's pretty much that for legs. Pretty simple, just a linear progression, powerful hip thrust, flirting with squats at the end. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get back at it with squats and deadlifts in the future. But if I had to pick one movement to do, it'll definitely be squats. So Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and see you in the next one.